various meetings we've had with the police. It's not the first time this has come up. And what they said to us is, look, there is concern about harassment. So we've said, look, what is the evidence of any threat to a synagogue? And they said, well, there doesn't have to be actual evidence that a synagogue's been attacked or there are plans to attack or there's any physical threat. It's about harassment. So we said, so what's the evidence that people in synagogues, traveling to synagogues, have been harassed? And their answer is, well, we don't have to provide actual evidence. If they tell us they feel unsafe, right, that's good enough. Now, there's two things to say about this that we've said. First of all, as you've said, on every demonstration, there are hundreds, sometimes thousands of Jewish people marching, many of them in an organized Jewish bloc.
And people, just to be clear, people see them wear their kippah. They're people who are very...
And they have a big banner saying...
Celebrating their Jewishness.
Yeah, saying, you know, Jewish blocs. Some of them have signs. Many of them are Holocaust survivors.
Yeah.
We've had somebody from the Jewish bloc speaking at virtually every demonstration. They are always warmly welcomed. That's been entirely ignored, and effectively what the police and those across the political establishment who've contributed to this sort of demonization of the marches and saying they're unsafe spaces for Jews are doing is invisibilizing those people. That's the first thing. The second thing is that this is about a sort of conflation of the Jewish community and support for what Israel is doing. Now, the point that we have made to the police is those who are lobbying you on this, and unfortunately, I have to cite, one of the figures the police have cited is the chief rabbi. They said he has expressed his concerns. I said, look, you have to engage with the fact that the chief rabbi, from the very beginning, has established and tried to tie the Jewish community from an overtly pro-Israel position. He has publicly condemned calls for a ceasefire. He has described the actions of the IDF as noble. He has described what Israel is doing in a speech he made in a synagogue as the most decent thing that a nation can do.
And to add to that, to also say what he said, he described the IDF soldiers as our heroic soldiers.
Yeah.
So it's very explicit. I mean, and this is really important because there's a Jewish bloc which is, well, furious about what's happening about this, and so many Jewish people who are speaking out, including those speaking out, for example, against the Board of Deputies who keep conflating. I mean, they keep speaking out to condemn things which have nothing to do with anything other than the state of Israel, its actions. So, yeah, I mean, it's the politics of the chief rabbi and what he said. I mean, when he's talking about our heroic soldiers, I mean, there's nothing more to be added to that, really, is there?
Yeah. And look, there's another part of the argument here. The police have said to us, and I had the same experience when I gave evidence to the Home Affairs Select Committee. It was put to me, do you accept that there may be Jewish people who are fearful of these marches? And I said two things. I said, look, first of all, if someone says I feel intimidated and harassed, the normal process is to listen to that, but then look at if there's any evidence. And there's a very dangerous line we're going down now. To give some examples, we've had incidents, for example, of plates, pottery plates, made by designs from children in Gaza and then made by children in the UK that were on display in a hospital, Chelsea and Westminster Hospital, displaying signs of Palestinian identity, etc., removed from the hospital on the grounds of complaints from a very pernicious organization called UK Lawyers for Israel, that this was unsettling and harassing to Jewish patients who were disturbed by this. We've had an incident in 2023 when the police visited the home of somebody who had a Palestine flag in his window because complaints had been made saying that Jewish residents of that town were harassed by the display of the Palestinian flag. Your viewers will remember that Suella Braverman said that we should look with concern at displays of the Palestinian flag. It could be seen as an act of hostility, as harassing. So where do you draw the line on this? So first of all, if someone says, I feel harassed by something, you have to say, well, do you have good reasons? And actually, I would say those arguments actually rest on a foundation of anti-Palestinian racism.